now on the auto tariffs. I want to bring in Flavio Volpe. He's the president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again, too.
So there was just a few days ago talk from Trump about exemptions. But yesterday we heard Trump in the Oval saying that auto tariffs on Canadian manufacturers could go up. What do you make of it?
This is typical Donald Trump. There are no Canadian auto manufacturers. There are American companies that manufacture in Canada, and there are Japanese companies that do it here. He brought out his greatest hits yesterday, 51st State. They took jobs from us, and I won't go into much of that other than these jobs have been here for 120 years, and half of the jobs came from car makers that are headquartered in Japan. They don't check in Washington or Detroit. But I'll say this, that the entire U.S. automotive industry co-signed a letter. So the associations representing all of the suppliers, all of the automakers, and all of the dealers co-signed a letter to the White House, Commerce, Treasury, and USTR saying, please do not go ahead with the May 3rd automotive parts tariffs, or we will risk shutting down the industry like the pandemic. What's important there is Donald Trump usually doesn't like to be told publicly what to do. He absolutely does not like American stakeholders standing up and saying, you're hurting us. And so yesterday, a day after that letter, when somebody asked about the Canadian election, he went off on cars. To my ears, those two things are related. He also talked about that he's talking to Canada and we're working on a deal. Well, I'm unaware of that. And I think most Canadians are unaware of that. I think, like a lot of things with him, it's a tell when he talks about something. For me, it's that he's going to have to relent for American stakeholders, or he's going to be directly telling them to fly a kite. It's not new, but what's new is those stakeholders are now publicly on the record saying, please save us from your fixes.
Well, he has backed down from the tariffs with China after he heard from the CEOs of major retailers earlier this week, like Walmart and Target, Home Depot, saying our shelves will be empty. Does that give you some hope? And do you look ahead to next week's election and think, we can't get a leader in place soon enough to start doing some real negotiations here?
Yeah, look, with regards to the election, the one thing that we would like to see is the faster we get a prime minister in place and a cabinet in place that then sees if we can take all of these American issues, these tariff issues, and put them at a table. Now, that's bilateral or trilateral. We can't tell the White House what to do, but the fact that we'd be ready to do it is important, whoever the prime minister is. Does the rest of the stuff give me hope? Yeah, because he overextends himself. On China, he said 145% tariffs. Well, the automakers went to him and said, well, 10% of every car made in the U.S. is Chinese goods, chips, camera sensors, can't get them anywhere else. So if you put 145% tariff on that, then that means it's, in essence, another 14.5% tariff on a car. Who's going to pay for this? How are we going to do this? And so I'm hopeful that, like we saw him come back from the brink in February and in March, because he understood that what he was doing to American interests by targeting Canadian goods, same thing's going to happen in early May. If not, then like all those American interests warned, we're going to shut everything down in the U.S.
Self-inflicted wound. Flavio Volpe, he's the president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. Thanks again. Good to see you this morning.